You were saying you've been in nuclear for a very long time, advocating for nuclear. Tell us how you heard about nuclear energy and how you got in.
So my way in was actually through some other nuclear advocates that I met, and to me they were very inspiring. So it was a group of young people from my city in Denmark, and they in 2020 they founded the sort of a Danish pro-nuclear organization called Nuclear Power Yes Please. And those guys did a really good job at advocating for nuclear energy and just making a lot of noise about all this in relation to the green transition. We have an energy source here that is also really helpful. As I learned more, I just became even more interested, and then it started snowballing for me. I eventually joined this organization, and then I've been doing that for maybe 4 years, just advocating for nuclear. I study physics also at university. And so it's quite natural for me to progress into studying nuclear physics and then go from there into the nuclear industry.
Okay, so you were a convert before you started working,
Yeah.
and from there on you studied nuclear physics.
Yeah, just physics in general. And then I sort of took as many courses as I could related to nuclear energy physics.
Did you know at the time you were going to go into nuclear?
Well, I really quickly found out that this was the way that I wanted to go. And then I sort of had to find out, so how will I actually do that? And I'm from Denmark, and nuclear energy is actually, it's illegal in Denmark. And that
Illegal
means,
still.
yeah, it's still illegal in Denmark. And that means that there's not a lot of academic research in nuclear as well. But then luckily at my university at the time, some other professor, a nuclear physicist, he also really wanted to have like more focus on nuclear energy. So he started a course in reactor physics. And I took his course, and through that, I sort of got introduced to some people from Sweden who are also teaching nuclear physics at some universities there. And from there, just networked a lot. And then suddenly I received an internship at Westinghouse Electric in Sweden. And that's where I am now.
What was the best thing that happened so far?
I think I remember my first day really clearly, just this excitement of like, finally, I've been advocating for nuclear for 4 years, but I have not really done any serious work with it. And then finally I'm walking up the aisle and entering this space, and you see these display models of some small parts of a nuclear reactor, or some fuel assemblies or something. It was really exciting.
You mentioned also people helped you out along the way, first from the advocacy group, then networking, some professors. Anybody specific that you want to give a shout out?
So first of all, like the advocacy group, Nuclear Power Yes Please, like they really helped me open up my world to nuclear energy, and I'm really grateful for that. And those guys, especially Jens Christiansen, his name is, he's like one of the founders, and Thijs Palm, also one of the founders. And then Mads Larsen, he was my friend that I was living with at the time, and he also helped found this organization. And definitely those guys have done an amazing job. I would say they have almost managed to like turn the tides in Denmark in the public opinion. And then also Hans Fynbo, he is a professor at Aarhus University, and he started giving out this course in reactor physics, and that has also been really helpful. And then, of course, like my supervisor here at Westinghouse, Schulte, super grateful that he provided me with the opportunity to get this internship. So it was through talking with him. I knew he was a professor at Uppsala in Sweden, teaching reactor physics, and I just wrote him some questions. And then we started like geeking out a bit on some reactor physics. And then, from there, he wrote to me that I should come here and study with him. So I'm really glad that these people, really passionate people, have been sort of speaking about it so much and making nuclear, putting it on the table, as you could say.
Yeah, it feels like there's a real community out there. You mentioned Denmark, where you come from. Nuclear is, you called it illegal. How has the public opinion changed in the meantime, since in the 4 years that you've been involved in nuclear, and how do you see it progressing in the future?
There has been a rapid shift towards like a positive opinion. So in 2020, I think, like polls were saying, 16 or 20% were in favor of nuclear energy. But now it's well above 50. It's like 55, almost 60% in favor of nuclear energy now. So that's kind of a drastic shift in a positive direction. And honestly, I don't see this stopping anytime soon. Really important moment, I think, was when you could actually talk about nuclear energy without being labeled as like the crazy person. So now everyone could like join the conversation and share their opinions as well.
It's amazing seeing the tide turn. What friends or people you meet who are not from the nuclear world, what kind of questions do they ask you?
It's the same 7 questions that I get.
What are your standard answers to these?
If they say that they think that nuclear is too dangerous, I would just like pretty much recite like some of there's a report by the JRC that says that nuclear energy is actually the safest form of energy production that we have as humanity. So right now I study in Sweden at Westinghouse Electric, and if people tell me that nuclear energy is too slow, then I ask them, okay, so how did Sweden manage to build like 10 nuclear reactors in 15 years? You can build nuclear reactors fast, and we have done so in the past. So there's obviously not something wrong with the technology. There's just been something wrong with how Europe has been managing their resources.
It's a perception issue rather than the reality.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
had a magic wand, what would you change about nuclear? Is there anything you would change?
There are definitely some problems in how we have sort of mismanaged all the knowledge that we had and all the workforce that we had and all these things. If we could just go back in time and not make the decisions to sort of neglect nuclear, that's definitely a huge shame, I think. So now that I've gotten into working in the nuclear industry, there are some really smart people there, and it's sort of sad to see like all these legends and all these really knowledgeable people that have worked so hard and built up all the reactor technology that we have now, and they're sort of coming of age, and then these young people have to just quickly get as much knowledge as they can from them before they retire. It's a shame it is like that.
So what's the best way to get the young people into nuclear, in your opinion?
I think something the industry could do definitely is to like show the world and show people all this amazing technology and knowledge that they have. A lot of it is kept inside the companies and not shared as much with the public. And I definitely think that if people actually knew how amazing the technology is and how many of these problems they have complete control over in relation to safety and building reactors and all this stuff, they're completely capable of managing these things super well, but they just don't say it that much. So
Be
that would
more
definitely
vocal
help them. Yeah, be more vocal.
and open and
Yeah,
invite people in.
yeah. And I remember from my time before I started working in the industry, I also had a hard time like knowing what's actually going on inside the industry. But I wanted to find it out, so I could actually just go look up a nuclear power plant in real life. So I would just like take a train, ride for 10 hours to the nearest nuclear power plant just to get a glimpse of it, because obviously I was very like excited about it. But then you get there and you can't really see anything. I definitely think it would help a lot if the industry was more open.
So nuclear theme parks,
Yeah, definitely.
invite people in. So what are your plans for your career? What's in store for Jens in the future, in the next
Yeah.
5 to 10 years?
So my dream is definitely to become sort of a reactor physics legend. Yeah, so I just see some of these older people that I work with now. I see that these are the people that actually came up with the way to calculate some very important quantity in relation to nuclear physics, and that's really motivating for me. So I would definitely like to get up there and also just really keep this knowledge in the industry. I really hope that I can help the industry stay where it is now and not lose a lot of the knowledge that it used to have.
Well, I hope one day people will watch this video about famous Jens Christiansen and they will be, wow, look at him. This is
Yeah.
this is how he started off, and it will be hopefully shown in lecture theaters and all
Yeah,
around the world. Obviously, you mentioned many times the technology, how amazing it is. It's keeping you motivated. Is there anything else you're particularly looking forward to? An event, a place that you can't wait to be at relating to the industry?
I guess just broadly speaking, I'm really looking forward to like all of these plans that are brewing for nuclear energy. Like there's this goal for tripling nuclear towards 2050. And I'm really excited about that. And I really hope that it will be successful and maybe even like more successful than the plans that we have now. So I'm really cheering on the industry and just cheering on nuclear energy in general and doing what I can to help these goals be achieved. There's no doubt that we need a lot more nuclear energy in the future. And we have built up this momentum now in the past like 5 years. Like the industry is getting ready. The population is getting a lot more accepting of nuclear, and politicians are starting to look seriously at it now. In Europe, for example, like 25% of the electricity comes from nuclear energy. And it's from a fleet of quite old reactors. But we're still managing to like squeeze so much energy out of those. And we rarely talk about it.
Yes, that's a really important fact. What a trustworthy technology that Europe has created and is still able to ride on the back of that 25 years on. It's been a fascinating chat for me, getting an insight into your story, your background from Denmark, and how you got into your dream career in your dream industry, which totally hits all your passions. It's been a real eye opener, and thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank you
taking
for having
part
me.
and giving us the time.
Of course, I appreciate it too. And yeah, thank you for having me. And I look forward to speaking with you more eventually.